Good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a good day today. Today in math, we are going to look at order of operations. The LAQs to keep your eye out for are why have order operations important and what is the order of operations? Just a reminder that these are the questions you should be able to answer after we're done learning. So let's look at this problem. 7 times 3 plus 4. Let's say that we have two students. We'll call them Abby and Mike. Abby and Mike come in and they see this problem on the board and they know that they're going to start working on it. So they sit down and Abby says, well, I'm just going to do the problem how it's read. I'll start with 7 times 3 and I'll add 4. I know that 7 times 3 is 21 and 21 plus 4 gives her an answer of 25. Now Mike looks down and he says, well, 3 plus 4 is the easiest part to do here, so I'm going to do it first. And I know that 3 plus 4 is 7. And that 7 times 7, or 7 squared, is 49. So he gets an answer of 49. Now hold on, that can't be right. They did the exact same problem and they got two different answers. Our rules of math tell us that all the math problems, one problem only has one answer. So, who is wrong? Is everyone's math all right? We can go back and check their work because they showed their work. Abby, let's look at hers first. She did 7 times 3, and we know that's 21, and 21 plus 4 is 25. So she's right. I bet it's Mike that did something wrong. Let's see. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 7 times 7 is 49. Well, that can't be right. Both of their math is right. Did anyone miss anything? I don't think so. So how can we keep this from happening? If we know that each math problem only has one answer, how do we keep this from happening where we have one problem that gets two answers again? Luckily, there are some rules that tell us how to do math. They're called order of operations. And it's going to be like a checklist or an order of how you're going to do each math problem. There's a handy dandy acronym that I wrote down on the bottom. We'll go over that a little bit later. So let's pull up our notes page and talk about what order of operations is. Now we said that order of operations is going to stop Abby and Mike from getting two different answers. So I want everyone to take a minute and make a hypothesis. You don't have to write it down, but make a hypothesis or a prediction about what order of operations means. I'm going to give everyone 10 more seconds to think about their prediction. All right. So order of operations, you can write in your notes, are the rules to solve an expression. It's going to tell us exactly what order to do everything in, so that way everyone does the problem the same and gets the same answer. Let's look at a problem and go over our rules. So our problem is 7 squared plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times 5, which is in parentheses, minus 6. Now this looks like a lot, but we're going to work through our rules and it's going to end up being real simple. So first in our PEMDAS is parentheses. So in red, I put a square around my parentheses and I'm going to do the work that's inside. So 2 times 5 is 10. Not so bad. Second, I am done my parentheses. I know that 2 times 5 is 10. So next I'm going to look for exponents. My exponent here is 7 squared. I know that 7 squared is 49. So I have 10 from my parentheses. 49 was 7 squared. Next, I'm going to do multiplication and division. So I have 3 times 4, which I know is 12. And we are almost done. Okay, so I have the 10, which was from my parentheses, the 49, which was 7 squared, 12, which came from 3 times 4. So the last thing I have to do is addition and subtraction. There's a lot of addition and subtraction here to do. And we're going to do it from left to right, just like we're reading a book. So let's start with 49 plus 12. 49 plus 12 is 61. And 10 minus 6 is 4. So my answer is 65. Let's go back and look at our note sheet. So we already filled in that order of operations is our rules to solve an expression. We just went through the process of PEMDAS, our acronym. A really easy way to remember that is with this little expression. It says, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We're going to look at the first letter in each word. So please for our parentheses. Excuse has the E for exponents. My dear is an M and a D for multiplication and division. And Aunt Sally for addition and subtraction. So let's go through. This is the exact same problem that we already did. We're just going to go through it one more time, and we're going to think about, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So I started with 7 squared plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times 5 in parentheses minus 6. So please, for parentheses, I'm going to do 2 times 5 first, which gives me 10. Next, I have excuse for exponents. So I'm going to do 7 squared next, which is 49. Next is my dear, so I have multiplication and division. So 3 times 4, which is 12. And last is addition and subtraction, which I'm going to do from left to right, just like I'm reading a book. And my answer is 65. Let's try another one. So I'm going to start with parentheses, which is my please. Please, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, I don't have any parentheses, so I can skip this step, and I'm going to move right on to exponents. My exponents, which I'm going to highlight in yellow, are 5 squared, or 5 times 5. So that is going to simplify to 25, and I'll just bring the rest of my equation down. Plus 10 minus 11 plus 21 divided by 3. Next, I have multiplication and division. So let me get out my green here. I have division right here. 21 divided by 3, which I know is 7. So I'm going to do 25 plus 10 minus 11 plus 7. And that was my dear in our little expression. And I'm sorry, I forgot. Exponents is going to be excuse. So remember, our full expression is please excuse my dear and then Aunt Sally. So now I'm done my multiplication. The last thing I have to do is my addition and subtraction. Aunt Sally. And once again, we're just going to go straight across like we're reading a book. You don't have to do addition first. You just do it from left to right. 25 plus 10 is 35. 11 plus 7 is 18. 35 minus 18 gives me an answer of 17. Let's look at one more, and it's going to be the problem on your note sheet. So I'm going to start with my parentheses up here. Now I have 2 parentheses. So I know 21 minus 9 is 12. And for right now, I'm going to ignore this little exponent because that's my next step. I am not looking at it right now. So 11 plus 2 is 13. And I'm going to rewrite it. So I have 9 squared. 21 minus 9 is 12. And 11 plus 2 is 13. And I brought down my little exponent right here. So now I can do my exponents. I know that 9 squared is 81, and 13 squared, which you might have to use a calculator for, is 169. Next, I'm going to do my multiplication and division. I have 1 multiplication in here. I'm going to do 12 times 169. And I'm just going to carry down that 81. 12 times 169 is 2,109. And my last step is my addition and subtraction, which is 81 plus 2,109. And I got an answer of 2,190.